Trying to work out their differences, Angela whispered her concerns. She said, "My husband doesn't love me anymore." And then I inquired, "Why do you think so?" Then she went ahead and opened the can of worms. "He is no longer affectionate with me physically or verbally. He no longer makes sweet or romantic gestures towards me. He doesn't say I love you anymore. Well, he still says I love you, but something about it feels hollow or forced, like he's just going through the emotions. That way he used to touch me, he doesn't do it again." And I was like, wow, and something is going down. This is Intimacy One-on-One. Welcome to the series, The Power of Togetherness. Today, I will be talking to you about the letter O of the word together. O stands for observant. The word is significant to the life of any relationship, most especially marriage. As a couple, you must be observant in order to build your marriage. To be observant simply means to be good or quick at noticing things. In other words, paying attention. One is said to be observant when he is careful in obeying laws, rules, and customs. The marriage is made up of a bunch of unspoken rules, and only a careful person makes his choices without failing. From the scenario, they have only observed the problem at the point of wild escalations. It only goes from cracks to crash. Every marital problem starts off with an insignificant crack. If left unattended, this crack gets widened that it could have insects go through. A continual neglect makes it go a little wider that it is able to accommodate a bigger insect. Then rodents, rats will pass through, and then it becomes too wide to stand in one piece as a wall. The crash then is inevitable. If the issue is recognized before the crack becomes obvious, it could have been taken care of or abated. You must be observant to the many things going around you, including the no important things of emotion. I personally do not pay attention to dates and events, so birthdays and anniversaries and memorials have never been so important to me. But these were a big deal for my wife. I always forget to say, "Honey, happy birthday," or "happy anniversary." And that was good enough a crack. So, filling the crack, I became more and more intentional about setting reminders and alarms here and there, just to keep me reminded. Now I know all the birthdays that can put me in trouble, and it is no longer a problem. There are other things as insignificant as the color of paint for the room, for the bedroom, or maybe a type of carpet, or maybe the handling of toothpaste. The list is endless. Understand that you are in a relationship to bond with your spouse, to share events, big or small, and to build a life together. Look at what is happening both around you and within you. Who is involved? What are they doing or saying? It is important not to jump into conclusions. Instead, gather the relevant facts to understand what is going on and what you need. Then go right on and do the right thing. The advent of the Savior Jesus was significantly influenced by Ruth the Moabite. She followed her mother-in-law Naomi to Israel when her husband died. There she met Boaz. They would ultimately carry on the bloodline of the Messiah and become King David's great grandparents. Ruth had severe hardships since she was a woman in an ancient setting without any protection. Yet she bravely accompanied Naomi to the land of Israel, gave her life to the Lord, and through her consistent loyalty in the face of probable circumstances, she made a significant contribution to God's victory over sin and death. Ruth said, "But don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God." She had taken time to observe Naomi. Mordecai averted a situation that would have caused the death of King Ahasuerus because he was observant, he was active and loyal. You cannot have a healthy marriage if these components are lacking in your relationship. And so, when you find situations that are difficult for you to handle or manage, 7 things you have to do. Number 1, talk about it. Never let anything you are not comfortable about slide without talking about it. This is different from nagging. Talking about it does not leave a pile. The failure to talk about it piles up issues and connecting unresolved matters in a way that it creates perspectives that may not be real. Number 2, order your steps. Men naturally work with forms while women work with patterns. Dealing with forms for men is easy. They see what is right before them and deal with it. They handle these things in 2 ways. They talk about it or they go silent about it but take a decisive stand over it. Women do so well with patterns in a way that they make connections having observed the consistency of those patterns. Whether or not they are right, everything is connected to everything. And if you follow closely, you'll find sense in it. But pray, it is not true, because most times they are correct. So take your time and set boundaries. Number 3, get help. We are very complicated beings. You might actually be at your best, but your spouse is judging your intentions differently. When you get to the point where you feel you are not getting it right, it is legitimate to find someone you know can handle the situation, a professional. Number 4, emotional needs. An emotional need is a craving that, when satisfied, leaves you with a feeling of happiness and contentment, and when unsatisfied, leaves you with a feeling of unhappiness and frustration. It is noteworthy that to hope that another human can meet our need or needs is asking too much of anyone. However, we cannot pretend that we do not have those needs that are expected of our spouses to make available. Number 5, trust not your judgment. If you know how not to trust your judgment over your spouse, you might be on your way to fixing your problems. Not trusting your judgment makes you look for the best of solution that makes you observe your wife, your husband, your spouse appropriately. Help yourselves. You need to help yourself and take all that energy, direct it in one place. Because if you do not take the time to take care of yourself, it won't be long that your head will be crowded with a lot of stuff that will be difficult for you to figure out what exactly you want in your marriage. Number 7, very important, environmental awareness. A person who is observant is similar to a scout in that they can accurately and thoroughly survey their environment. Observant people are master navigators because they can recall landmarks and routes better than others. They can get about a new city, a new discovery with ease if they have a good sense of direction. It can also be beneficial in less complicated ways. The last one is, it is beautiful to take a relaxing activity. Do something together that is relaxing. Maybe sit out or see a movie together, or just gisting and sipping on something healthy. My dear friends, be a little more observant in your marriage today, working together as husband and wife until the Lord returns. In doing that, you'll make your marriage a little heaven here on earth.